Why there's nothing that can incentivize a woman to have children unless she wants to have children naturally from the start. Donald Trump for a minute. Donald Trump is now talking about a new incentive program that encourages Americans, women here in America, to have more babies. And I don't know why some people are shocked or surprised from the angle that he is taking as a part of this campaign. Trump's administration is saying that basically the US birth rate is just far too low. Imagine they want you to have a $5,000 incentive for new moms after giving birth, reserving 30% of Fulbright scholarships for applicants who are married or have children, government funded education programs for women about menstrual cycles and ovulation to aid conception. I would say not just for women, but men need to understand it as well. I think society would be a far less combative if men understood women's menstrual cycles and how women change emotionally during those cycles. US birth rates have been declining steadily, hitting a record low back in 2023 with just 3.6 million births. The average number of children per family dropped to under 2. Births in 2023 was 76,000 fewer than in 2022, marking the lowest count since 1979. And teen and young adult birth rates are down, while more women in their 30s and 40s are giving birth. Allies like Elon Musk and JD Vance are pushing this agenda. Of course they are. These are people that have a lot of money. This is all proposals that they're willing to hear. I wish they'd hear my video. I could tell them, and I will at the end of this video. Simone Collins, an activist, said, "I just think this administration is inherently pro-natalist. Look at the number of kids that major leaders in the administration have. You didn't hear about kids in the same way under Biden. Obviously, we know that that wasn't their push. They were pushing you to go work." She highlights a cultural and leadership difference in family values between the Trump and Biden administration. Republicans have always been pro-family. This was Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary's comments. The president wants America to be a country where all children can safely grow and achieve the American dream. As a mother myself, she said, "I am proud to work for a president who is taking significant action to leave a better country for the next generation." Yeah, but that's just one term. He's only got one more term of 4 more years. And what do people really fear? They fear that we're going to go back into a democratic stance of chaos, where they're trying to bring drag shows to schools and push. So you got to look at it from that perspective. It's not consistent. It's not stable. The economy still isn't even stable. People are struggling to find work, and people are struggling to see that future is bright. And so pushing this agenda right now, it feels horrible that they're doing this. Some of the comments, though, of what the left think about this. Handmaid's Tale in the making. We are one executive order away from the U.S. being renamed Republic of Gilead. If you haven't watched Handmaid's Tale on Hulu, it makes women who are of childbearing age be forced to have children by, the leaders, the powerful elite. Of all the disturbing things this administration does, this one just might take the cake. I don't know how I'm continually disgusted, shocked, and disturbed anymore. This is the ultimate jaw dropper. This man needs to go as soon as possible. Mind you, they're referring to this article where People magazine basically is referring to Trump as a Nazi still. Trump's team ponders how to make women have more babies. One idea was part of Hitler's and Stalin's playbook. This was the only person that made sense in the comment section. Keep comparing him to that, and he will keep on winning. Doesn't anybody learn from the election? That's what got him back. Just stop comparing. It's really not that difficult. The fact that this is what they want, but they don't realize that people are not feeling 100% secure in it because the economy is just not there yet. We're still, you're talking about still having wars with Iran and other countries. You think parents want to deal with that? I think not. You've got mothers wondering if they're going to be able to afford to put their kids through college, and you want us to be having kids. I don't think so. And if we don't nip it in the butt and start having some kids, we're going to face some serious problems down the line, like not enough workers, not enough soldiers, and basically an aging population that cannot support itself. Well, what the hell are they making all the robots for? I mean, come on. They can go out and take care of the older population. I have people in my own family that refuse to have kids, and rightfully so. They look at the state of the world around them and they said, not bringing a kid into this America that pushes for war, pushes for, workforce, pushes you to be stuck in a 9 to 5 job where you're just working, working, working and getting nowhere. You're going to own nothing and be happy. That is what they want for you. We saw Elon Musk get up on stage talking about, we need to have more kids. And he's obviously doing his part, correct? Why don't we just have Elon have all the kids for us? I mean, he has enough money to literally just build a place where he's just pumping out kids with desperate, lonely women that want to have children and get a payday. And you guys do remember May Musk, his mom, getting on there saying, we need more people so that they can go work. Basically, it's all about money. It boils down to gross domestic product or GDP, and you don't have that unless you have people. Trump talked about giving financial incentives to family, like expanding tax breaks. Excuse me, but no, the tax break we get here isn't even enough. Maybe even direct payments, he said, $5,000 or baby bonuses. Really? Really? I had to pay for all three of my children. I didn't get any tax break for that. Also, get this, ladies, he's talking about making sure we have stay at home moms. Now, obviously, a lot of women out there that have kids know the struggle of going to work and having to come home to care for kids. So, obviously, being at home with your children is ideal. And, affording childcare is a struggle for a lot of women that go to work. But some women still want that opportunity. Some women don't want to be reliant on their husband. So now you're just saying, well, for the women that want to be staying at home, we're going to give you a little bit of help. It's basically a pro family pitch that the Trump administration is throwing out there. And you have to ask the ladies out there, do you want to have families again? Do you want to be the stay-at-home wife like in the 50s, raising children? And then what do you do once those children are grown? You have now no fallback plan. You've been out of the workforce. I know so many women in the workforce, and they're saying there's no way I'd leave because the minute I leave, I have no work experience. And now I'm dependent on a man. I'm actually going to be going back to work here pretty soon, full time, or I'm going to be working again because my children are getting older and I need something to do. It's almost like I want to tell the Trump administration, how about you do the normal thing, like what all the European countries do, paid family leave, so that not just the mom is taking care of the child all the time, but dad gets time off too to be able to be around his family. Then let's break that vicious cycle of, oh, the man just goes to work and he never spends time with his children. It's so that food and just living here in America is affordable again, that people can buy homes. We're going to put the kids in an apartment, horrible looking modernized apartments. People don't want kids because they're looking around at the world and they're saying, I'm taking all of this in. I'm seeing the way housing is. I'm seeing the way rich people get rich. I'm seeing the wars. And I'm going to say, I'm going to opt out of that and be a little selfish, like what everybody is doing on the internet and focusing on travel, exploring the world. And this is from a mama of 3. And I would tell young girls right now, think long and hard. Make it a long, hard thought process on whether or not you want to be buckled down and responsible for children, for another life, because that's what it ultimately boils down to. And then the person that you have the child with, then you have to now worry about them coming in and fighting you for children. They just make it easier to want to have kids in the first place. Like I said, affordable health care, whether or not I had great insurance or not, I still had to pay out. Better wages, better living situation, better food. There's people that are like literally having to do in vitro fertilization, artificial insemination. I'm not a doctor, but I can guess that there is a problem going on in the environment that's causing people to become sterile. Couple that with the way the world is, with more me, 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 me. Look at me. I'm on social media. Me, me, me. And they want to stay a certain way. They want to keep their lifestyle. They want to travel the world. just feels very gimmicky. And it almost feels like a slap in the face to Americans by having a government even talk about this issue in such a nonchalant matter. Like $5,000, Trump, you think $5,000 is going to do it? Wouldn't move the needle for anyone considering a child. That's like saying to a woman, would you give birth? Would you have a baby for me for $5,000? The answer would automatically be no. Most women would opt out of that in a heartbeat. So, see, society does need women. It does need women to have children. And women like me that have had children, and we end up giving our life to these kids, and taking time off of work to be a stay-at-home mom like I did. We have a hard time getting back in the workplace because we're told, "Oh, you've been out of the workplace, you've been staying at home." So stay-at-home moms don't get zero, they get zero respect. If there was a price tag attached to the work I did, raising 3 children, it would be in the millions. It is not an easy job. Worse when they get teenagers. Now, whether or not you agree with Donald Trump, it does raise an interesting question. Should the government even be playing a role here in trying to incentivize people to have kids? Or should I think the mental health of this society is going to make people literally opt out. I think people are just going to say no. And there's no amount of money or price tag you're going to put on it, Donald Trump, until you guys fix the way the world is. And that's probably not going to happen. Anyways, you guys tell me what you think. Have a great day.